Alright guys, there's about 1,000,001 ways to do anything in this life. Right now we're going to fire up a smoker. Show you what works well for me. I've tried numerous methods and this is just the one I currently employ. We first tried out with just a standard lighter or whatnot, then we went to these things here, and they're not cheap. And this one here is like a torch. And that torch, it's laughable at best. This is like a standard lighter with just a regular flame. It's kind of a joke. That's the torch. Of course you can't see it. I figured it'd be better. But chose to implement the Bernzomatic TS4000, and that's the way to go in my eyes. Less time screwing around, less time I'm on my feet, so everything's better. Alright, the fuel of choice that I prefer for the smoker is white pine needles. They offer a nice, cool, just a calming smoke. It's not too much, and it's just the right amount. It gets them good and calm. It doesn't agitate them at all. It burns really well. I've heard people using burlap. I even heard of people taking rolls of paper towels and crushing them and stuffing them down in the smoker, and they say they'll last a long time. But the pine needles, in my eyes, are some of the best smoke you can get. And if you got a neighbor that's got some white pines, or whatever, you hit the jackpot there. Just ask them if you can collect their pine needles after they fall. But additionally, you want the nice full-size needles. Like for instance, at the bottom portion of this bucket, that more than likely they're going to get crushed over time, sticking your hands in and whatnot. When they get crushed and get like I don't know, less than 1.5 inches or so in length, then they become a little bit problematic as far as igniting properly and remaining lit properly. But anyway, that's just some food for thought. We'll get into business and light this thing up. And one reason I implement the torch, it's a little more forgiving. I can get the nozzle down in deep and put more needles in, so I can be more aggressive lighting my smoker, and that's quicker for me. So, all right guys, I'll just take our basket. It's been cleaned out obviously from the last usage. Set your basket down in, and if you can tell, of course it's got the air holes in it, and then this stainless screw, it's probably 1.5 inches long to keep it off the bottom, to keep airflow going. So just stick your basket in. I like to put my gloves on because the pine needles are sticky, the smoker's sticky. Don't really want my hands to get too sticky as you're working. It makes it kind of miserable for me. Some people probably don't care. Using the torch, it's a little more forgiving. You're able to put more pine needles in to get it going, because your torch flame it'll burn a little bit better without as much oxygen as like a standard lighter or even a torch style lighter. But anyway, I've got it probably, if I stuffed it tight, it'd probably be 1/3 to just a little less than a half full. So I'll stick my nozzle down in there and make a little hole over on the side to where my flame can reach the bottom of the needles, as you see there. And then I'll just stick the nozzle as far in as I can get it. Just let her rip. It'll flame up like that. Just keep smoking it for a bit. And now, I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but it's a good even coat of fire in the bottom of that. Now I can go ahead and fill my remaining needles on top. And pack it good and tight. This particular smoker here is very, very efficient. Some folks might not like it that are used to different smokers that absolutely billow the smoke, and I'll give it some air as I'm packing it just to make sure that I don't put my fire out. If I had lighted that with a traditional lighter, it'd probably be out right now, just to let you know. But you get that base of fire going in there good with that torch, and then it gets you, see, we're in business there, so now we just close it up. And once you close it, you're totally minimizing the air, so I'll pump on it a while. You don't want your smoker popping open on you when you're working your bees, so make sure it's fastened good and tight. And then I'll pump down on it just to make sure it's going. This smoker here, if you pack it good and tight, it'll probably last, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes maybe. Father-in-law smoker, it produces a lot more smoke. It's a lot thicker and billows more, and I think it actually agitates the bees some more, but this one here is not quite as aggressive, but it's a lot more efficient smoker. Where with using his the other day, and I was refilling like every several minutes before. If you notice to a point to where you're blowing out ash and fire, you need to refill. You don't want to ash and fire your bees. They don't like it a bit. Plus, it makes a mess in your hive too, throwing ash and cinders around. But when you get to that point, then it's time to add. But I can feel with my hand, there's nothing hot about it, no fire or ash coming out, and that's plenty of smoke for them. You see other smokers, and like my father-in-law's, it just billows of smoke. But this here is fine, and it's very efficient, so some guys it might not be enough, but it works great for us. So anyway, I got it going, and I think it's to a point now to where once you close your lid, if you got it packed tight like I have, I'll just, for a little bit, just to get it going, we'll pump it for a while. Once you get that fire down in there good and get it burning well, then it'll just continue to smolder all the time until you actually need to burn it out. But get this scrap up. I gotta check a queen cell, see what's going on in it. And guys, I'm gonna admit, when I was a kid, my father had bees. You know, going up through life, different things happened. He got rid of his bees, and I kind of got away from it. Well, I was diagnosed with cancer several years back. Had a couple devastating accidents in my life. It's, you know, changed things around, and it's brought me full circle back to the bees, which it's good and bad with it. The good is the knowledge of it, the absolute benefit of being able to work with such a magnificent creature. And yeah, I mean, it's very cool. The bad is I've ended up losing my job because I'm no longer able to physically do it. Financially, yeah, I'm just going to leave it right there. But a lot of bad, a lot of good's happen. So you never know what this life's going to provide you or bring you. But I can say this, you just got to make the most of every situation. I mean, right now, I'm not to complain, but I'm in a good amount of pain, and probably not the most desirable thing that I would like to be doing right now, but at the same time, it's very enjoyable, and I'll just have to push through it and deal with the pain later. But very cool stuff. Whole lot of medicine comes out of these creatures. Everything in their hive is pretty much medicinal as far as what they produce. The honey, the propolis, the royal jelly, all of it. Beeswax, used for centuries, thousands of years. All of these products used for thousands of years from humans. Just amazing stuff. see what Doug's up to. Get some more compost. He's actually down there laying out some rows right now for our county has a local garden called the Giving Garden. And he's actually down there laying out rows for that. They have some volunteers come out and work the garden from time to time. And it's just a good thing, you know, they give food to less fortunate families in our county here in the state of Virginia where we're at. But some very cool things. And I'm not so much a part of that. That type of stuff is kind of behind me as far as all that hard bending over and aggressive work. So I'm kind of more help with the bees from time to time. But before I got hurt, I've been right there in it with them. Well, I'd actually been on a train, so, and not been at home at all. But that's another story.